Oh god, it keeps getting worse. Because guess what? You can spend $1,800 on a new MacBook Pro and you still won't get all the new features from macOS Sequioa because it's too underpowered. There's a new Sequioa feature called predictive code compilation, which is an AI tool that predicts the next line of code you're going to type. Basically, it's like predictive text for developers. And look, even if the closest you come developing is, using an emoji, just bear with me, it gets crazy. This feature is only available for Macs with 16 gigs of RAM. So we have a new AI feature that won't show up on some expensive SL products because there's not enough RAM. Where have I heard of this before? Now you may say, this is just for like the base MacBook, basic bytes, M0, that Mac's not for the pros, it's for fappers and frappuccinos. Well, you're wrong, son, because Apple sells an $1,800 M3 MacBook Pro that won't get this new feature. And for a fact that as time goes on, the number of new features this, affordable computer won't get will become bigger and bigger, like a subscriber count. I have a theory that Apple intentionally gimps the base models of their MacBooks and iMacs and just Macs in general, in one way or another, whether it's getting rid of a core, some paltry amount of RAM or storage, so that when an actual pro user who kind of knows what they're doing buys one of these computers to kind of push it to the Macs for years to come, they're basically forced to upgrade either the RAM or the storage, and that actually becomes the real base model. And Apple conveniently charges you through the gazoo for these upgrades, right? Man, they charge like 4 to 5 times more for these, storage and RAM upgrades compared to how much its components cost for users. If you want to bump up to 16 gigs of RAM, that's $200, please. When you can get 32 gigs of RAM for like $64 brand new on Amazon. Jesus Christ, great move, Apple. Sell underpowered computers to pro users and milk them when they have to inevitably upgrade. Oh, wonderful. That was so good. So much for that, unified RAM. People kept saying, 8 GB is fine. RAM on Mac is not the same as RAM on Windows. It's okay. People made excuses for a company that, puts the same amount of RAM on their base model MacBook Air, their iPhone, and the MacBook Pro for quote-unquote professionals. Doesn't that just sound wrong? People kept making excuses. Apple didn't feel any pressure to make their pro computers, actually pro. And, we had a good couple of years where Apple was able to, barely get by with the low amount of RAMs on the iPhones and MacBooks. Software caught up, it became more heavy, and here we are. This is what blind loyalty to a company gets you. It's the same as politics. And when those in power, whether it's government or companies, realize there's a massive group of people that will like them and buy their stuff no matter what, when they see that they don't feel a sense of duty and honor to reward the people for their loyalty, but an opportunity to become essentially homeland and do whatever they want and get away with it. I hope to God, stories like this gain attention. Apple gets as much bad press as possible and they bend the knee to make sure that all M4 MacBook Pros have 16 gigs of RAM. By default, not 12, not 14, but 16, and at the same price. None of that, bumped up BS and like, actually, you're getting more for the money, so it's fine. No, none of that. It has to happen. And check out why the iPhone 16 might not get Apple Intelligence. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.